Ahlan wa sahlan. Right now we're going to talk about the future tense, what we call in Arabic al-mustaqbal. In this video we're going to assume that you already know how to conjugate a present tense verb in Arabic. You should already have studied the previous video about how to conjugate the present tense, or maybe you've learned from another source. If you know how to conjugate a present tense verb, it's gratifyingly simple to form the future tense in Arabic. We do that by adding a particle at the beginning of a present tense verb. In Fusha, MSA, it's going to be sa. In Masri, Egyptian dialect, it's going to be ha. And in Shami, Levantine, we have a choice of either ha or rah. So for example, if we take a present tense sentence like I'm going to the movies. أذهب إلى السينما in Fusha. أذهب إلى السينما. All I need to do to turn this into future tense is to add a sin fatha at the beginning of the verb. سأذهب إلى السينما. I will go to the movies, or I'm going to go to the movies. Note that the sin connects to the letter that follows it. In Egyptian, we have something very similar, right? If we want to say the same sentence, in Egyptian, of course, we're going to use the Egyptian colloquial verb for going. We aren't going to say أذهب. I might say بروح السينما, right? I'm going to the cinema. I go, present tense. And in the future, we're going to drop that ba prefix that we see on most present tense verbs, and I'm going to add that ha. حروح السينما, right? Note that the ha also connects. We don't really have standardized forms for writing dialect. There are conventions, but there isn't one single grammar that will tell you the correct way to write dialect. There is some flexibility, but this is typically what we see, is that ha is going to connect to the verb that follows. And in Shami, we're going to see essentially the same thing. Let's use rah instead of ha. Well, let's start with the present tense. بروح السينما. Remember, we have that conjunction in Shami that we don't in Masri. بروح السينما. I'm going right now. Again, we drop that ba prefix and we're going to add rah instead. Notice that in Shami, we're not going to connect that rah. It's going to sort of be a standalone particle. It's a little bit different. Again, there's no rule book that's going to tell you that this is correct, but if you're reading someone's Facebook page and they're writing in Syrian dialect, for example, you're likely to see that rah as a separate particle. It's just an emerging convention that we see. One more thing, sometimes in Fusha, instead of sa, you're going to see a particle sawfa. And if you see sawfa instead of sa, it is going to stand alone, kind of like rah in Shami. Sawfa أذهب إلى السينما. There is no difference in meaning between any of these actually, right? They're all exactly equivalent in meaning. I will go, I'm going to go. Also note that unlike a lot of other European languages, we aren't going to use the verb for going to situate another verb in the future tense. That's strictly a convention of certain other languages, but you're never going to do that really in Arabic. We're going to use one of these particles, so pick the one of the dialect you're learning, or if you're learning Fusha, just use that Fusha. And remember that we always tack it onto the beginning of a present tense verb, and that is it. That's the future tense.